What's up, YouTube? I like making this kind of videos. I find them relaxing actually, and it's also sharing. Usually, one of the reason I'm making videos, I try to share little glitches that happen when you try maybe to fix or whatever, repair something, open something, and that's why I'm making this video specifically because there are blogs online that explain a little bit how to open the cover of this Super Radio GA. It's the Model 3, and this one was made in I don't know which one, but it's from GA anyway, so it's not that later copy which was less good. Anyhow, so there are difficulties when removing the cover. I'm going to get through this, going to be perhaps 5-6 minutes video, so bear with me. One of the first things, so you don't get an electric shock, what I do recommend is power up the radio, let it run, and while it's on, remove the plug, and you will see it's going to keep working for 1-2 seconds, then shuts off. That will drain a little bit those capacitors, especially the power coil, and maybe you will have less chances to get an electric shock. So that's just a small trick. Instead of powering by the button, just unplug it while it's still on. Okay, so basically what you do is you remove the rear cover, and to do so the first step is you need to remove these 3 knobs. These are the front knob. I'll show in a moment how to fix the volume button problem because it has cracking on it. By the way, when you replace them, you can actually adjust them correctly in place. So maybe turn all of 3 to minimum, and when you install them back, make sure the red dot aligns with the minimum number here, because mine were not aligned. And one of the things that I'm going to explain is that you can see that the workers at the factory did not all of them put the things properly in place. So workers, some are better, some are less good, some are working on Monday morning, other on Friday afternoon. So you can see, and I'll show you that not all of them were doing a good job. Anyhow, so you need absolutely to remove these 3 knobs because they are secure on the electronic board, so you won't be able to pull the front end without removing those knobs. And the most difficult part is the side tuning knob. And I did actually read 2 blogs saying how to disassemble this. And one of the things that happens with hobbyists is that when they tell you how to fix something, they will skip the difficult part. They just don't want to let their leisure, the hobby, appear like it's having downsides. But that's not what I'm doing with you. This side knob, I don't think my unit has anything special. Let's try to rotate it to get a better light for it. So I'm going to assume that all the units are done like this. This is the bottom for the side knob, and if you look closely to it, if the camera perhaps will focus, the white thing is actually a glue. At some point I thought I won't be able to remove this thing from there. It was absolutely stuck in there, and the trick is that it's not going to pop up like this. You will just remove this thing extremely small movements. It took me several minutes, very slow, and little by little it came out. It's important not to pull with force because this is not strong. I think it's metal on a piece of plastic, so you don't want to break that piece of plastic. That's I don't need to mention it, how important it is not to break it. But what I did is that this one you are going to remove it while it's still on the case, and you just maybe insert a piece of cardboard, something, so you don't scratch or damage the case, and try to slide a knife in between, maybe on both sides, and try to rotate it very slightly. You are going to apply, I don't know, I'm going to say moderate force. Don't over force, you're going to break it. Remember, this is plastic, this is a plastic piece, so it's going to shear here if you force it. So don't force too much, but try to go on both sides little by little, and also try to grab it with your hand. Don't wiggle, just try to pull on it. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a real slow motion movement. You most of the times you will think is not coming out, but it will come out. Is going to be extremely slow movement, very annoying. And I'm going to guess that it's going to depend on the model. You see, mine doesn't even have that paste all around, it's just an area here. So if your worker put paste all around here, possibly you won't be able to remove it. Keep this in mind. And I realize my video is getting longer than I thought. So anyhow, you must remove this knob to free it from here in order to remove the cover. Otherwise, you will remove the back screws, but the cover will still be stuck in there. It's not going to split open unless you remove this thing and unless you remove the 3 knobs here. Those don't matter, the rotating ones must come out. This one were easy for me to remove. There is, see, yeah, there is no paste on them, no glue or nothing. It just pull them out, they come out easily. Now let's see how I can show you perhaps the screws behind. I'm doing this one hand and I'll try not to mess it. So there's 6 screws, long ones, 1, 2, 3 on left, 4, 5, 6 on the right side. Easy to see, not too deep, but you need a Phillips screwdriver, rather long one, so you need to get a few inches inside. And there's finally another screw inside. The battery casing is right by the left spring. It's a smaller screw. Also, when you remove the battery cover, this piece here, it will feel like it's stuck, and that's because of the cable, electric cable one. Let's see, so this cable goes in there. Actually, this is a space to wrap up the cable, but mine is really stiff. I don't think it's gonna fit any longer in there. Anyhow, the cable will kind of make a friction when it comes out against this cover, and it will look like the cover doesn't want to come out. It's just try to align the cable. It's going to be twisted, trying to make it straight in that hole. Cover should come out in that moment. Also, after you remove all the screws, just make sure they are fully unscrewed. They will not come necessarily out of there. You are going to remove the 7th one smaller. You are going to split open the bottom first, so make like a flip rotation like this, and you need to clear the power button. You cannot remove the power button. I think you cannot remove it. What you need to do is, as the bottom flips like this, the top will slightly lower. So the top here, you are removing the back cover, by the way. You just put it on the front like this and you remove the back cover. And as you rotate this end, bottom end out towards yourself, you need to press on the power button to depress it, keep it depressed, and slide the top out with a small rotation. I think I can do it one hand. It's going to be a little bit like this. So basically it comes out like this, and slide from the power button, slide it lower like this, just lower it and rotate it. But you need to press the power button to free it from this hole in the upper casing. If you don't press the power button, it's going to feel like it's stuck and it's not coming out from there. Okay, let's try to handle this somehow. Okay, so basically the 2 sides of the covers, this is the front one with a speaker. You have just 2 wires in between, or at least that's how it is on my model. You will see these buttons here, either will stay on the switches, either they will just sit in there, so that's not a problem. Okay, one of the reasons I made this video is I'm going to show you in a few moments a little problems with the antenna wiring. But what happens with the problems with this radio, I think overall it's a good quality, is going to last. Mine, I think it's about 30 years old, from 95 or 6, something like that. But there is on the knobs here and also on the switches here, there is a copper plate, and that plate with copper will oxidize in time. Oxidation means the surface no longer makes proper contact, makes intermittent contact, and my volume button will creak, will make crackling noise in the speaker, will make big noise at the slightest touch. So what you want to do with these three knobs here, simply, you actually can do this without removing anything, just on the face of the radio, just wiggle them like this. So I'll try to capture them like this and just rotate them like you, I don't know, it's like a DJ scratching or something like this. Now the DJs were doing with those small knobs. Rotate it a lot of times like this, and that will just remove the surface oxidation, and from that moment on my volume button is working perfectly, no longer any scratch. However, you cannot, and I think that they put sort of a paste, something, maybe electric paste on it. You see it's coming out and it feels like a little bit sticky. However, these buttons, and especially the FM1, and if you are buying this radio, check first this button, move it from the bottom to the top on FM and see if it kind of makes good contact, if you get good FM reception. This button on mine, basically when I switch it from AM to FM, at this position it doesn't make proper contact for the same reason of oxidation on surface of copper, and I have to wiggle it, and makes cracking noise, and I have to wiggle it a little bit until it kind of makes proper contact and I get FM. But for this one you cannot do that thing, you cannot just rotating them to clear that thing. So what I'm actually removing, splitting open the case, is to use that's French. This is electrical contact cleaner, just a spray basically, and I'm going to spray it inside. I'm going to spray maybe just, yeah, a little bit, quite a few droplets inside on all three switches, wiggle them. I can feel that they also have that electrical paste. So just need to spray, flip the switch to one side and spray at this end, switch it to the other side, spray at the other end, right where the plastic meets the metal. Hopefully it's going to get inside on the contact itself. Let it sit for a good few minutes. Actually this will evaporate by itself, but maybe repeat a couple of times, try to plug it in, see if it works, maybe not touch anything. Careful with your fingers if you put the power on. I'm going to put in the comment section, there's blogs, I guess, who explain how to adjust, I think it's not calibrate, they say it aligned. Basically they would align this electronic components. I'm not into electronics, I don't know much about these things, but I'll put in the comment section some links if you want to align it to get a better aim reception. But this is for more advanced people, so don't start to rotate these things if you don't know what you're doing, or at least mark them to know where it was originally. But that's not a reason for why I'm doing this video. It's, look, this is, will I be able to, so basically just a quick, wow, I thought it was going to be 5 minutes video. that's kind of a stretch, but basically the reason you are going to buy this radio is because it's been discussed in forums usually as a very good AM receiver. FM also, but AM specifically. Personally, I just like to listen AM stations. I'm in Canada, Montreal, that's in Quebec province. I have to say, I did read on forums and also on YouTube videos about people saying that this is an amazing and particularly inexpensive unit to listen AM. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. Back in the days, this was somewhere around $60 US radio. So it was really not expensive. Is it really a top-end AM receiver? No, it's not. I think it's clearly above average reception, but I will perhaps place it in between the average and the top, right in the middle of this in this gap. So it's definitely not near top quality AM receivers. But it's better than an average one, the standard receiver that we'll find in a boombox or something like that. So bear that in mind if you want to purchase this. However, it is inexpensive, but I will say don't pay. I won't pay $100 for this. I did pay $30 for mine. I think $30, $20, $40 is just fine on this for this quality of IM reception. What it does is that this is a quite powerful speaker, so it's actually it can be really loud. It's not going to be a boombox, but you can feel a I was talking in another video, a hairdresser salon with this speaker with you probably won't hear the people talking if you put it to the max volume. So it's very strong. Quality of the sound itself, of the speaker itself, the way it sounds, I think it lacks character in my opinion. It has a good tonality, lows, is not too boomy, but it's just doesn't have character to it. But it's okay, it's nothing to talk about it. It's just that it's really powerful when cranked up. Okay, last part of the video. This is the AM antenna. Let's see if I can film it. So basically you can see it is this, let's see, where's my finger, here we go, is this part here. You see it's like a, not like a metal, but it looks like a plastic bar. It's a, I don't know what exactly it's I don't think it's metal, perhaps something like graphite or something, I don't know. I don't want to invent anything. However, there is obviously these wirings to it. Let's see how to film this properly. Oh, that's a good image. So you'll have these two wires that go to the antenna, and the wire itself is shielded. So the copper looking area of the wire, it should be shielded. It should be a problem if it touches anything. It's just the end of it, which looks silver, that actually makes electrical contact. You are better looking at your radio to see how it looks, but I can tell you that the workers see this wire is going up and down. It's wrapping things around it. It's, boy, it's a mess. It's a mess. I don't know I don't know where it was built, perhaps China, I think. But it definitely looks like the worker was tired of his job, and I can fully understand that. I mean, it is surely not a fun job to do like 100 radios a day, every single one, being very repetitive job. But definitely they were, if not in a rush, tired, and you can see the way the wires go along the antenna. And also, perhaps you already know that very common, if not all of them, the scale is just not accurate. So you'll have the numbers here, and when you tune in a station and you compare to a digital radio, it's completely off the tune. It's just way to the left, half a centimeter, even 1 centimeter to the left of the actual scale number. Correct scale number. It seems it's quite difficult to adjust this thing. I'll let you read the forums in the blogs. I'm not going to mess with that. I know my wire makes like a weird bong noise at some point, but if you look here, so this is the wire, the bottom one. There are cables, there is antenna wires, there are other cables. It looks like it's like a jam in there. It's like they're wrapped around. It's just a mess, and I can understand why my wire is making some boing noise at some point. It's rubbing on everything, on all the wires. I'll try to detangle this, but it's crazy how it's, yeah, I think it's more the design, because you know the engineers will design these things and they should design where the wire should pass, and then the worker is trying to put that in place. But if the design is not clear, doesn't have enough space, the worker will be left with trying to kind of getting done, but it's obviously not the best job done. Okay, let me see. I wanted to say something else and I did forget. Okay, one of the things I don't like in this radio, I wanted just to mention, so you are sure if you buy this radio and you don't have too high expectations, I would say that this tuning button, when it goes in there, when you rotate it, the way it feels, it's somewhere between pathetic and horrible. It feels very like a rubber string or something like this. It has absolutely no touchy feeling to it. You don't have any sensation. I'm not comparing this with a higher end radio, but I know high end radio have very, very nice feeling to their tuning knobs or volume knobs for that matter. This one definitely it's near the bottom of the quality of the feeling when you turn it, and you can also tell it's really plastic. And yeah, obviously this unit was mostly meant for a better AM reception, not great, just better than the average radio, and the whole cost of the unit went into that area. The rest of it, the plastic, the buttons, the knobs, are just very cheaply made. The money went into AM reception, and also remember that these units were significantly cheap on the market for what they would offer. Okay, so I hope it helps you guys. Any questions in the comment section. If you want to get one of these because your regular unit doesn't get the best AM reception, it's a good choice, I think. Don't spend too much. I don't have it here. I do have a radio, a Panasonic, which was a cassette and CD, just a regular player, portable one with AM FM reception, and that one, which nobody talks about it, and I don't think it's anything to talk about it, was very close to the AM reception of this one. For the bands that have medium strength signals. So perhaps what this is good is on the AM signals that are pretty weak. If you want to get a better reception, then maybe you purchase this. Otherwise, if you are listening to average to strong reception AM signals stations, just get any radio that you find on the market. Is going to be the same and even better sound quality than this unit. I can tell you perhaps that I'm in Montreal, Canada, and I listen to US Vermont stations on AM, and the signal is okay. I will rate it maybe 30-40% of the intensity of a good signal, good quality, so it's okay. I also sometimes, but this is mostly at night, right? You don't get far away signal at daytime. That doesn't happen. So I will also listen to signals from New York, Boston. Okay, 20-30% perhaps quality of the reception at night. So for that matter, this is a good choice. But if you are not into weak signals, AM stations from very far away, just get a regular radio and you know, those even cassette radio, those they call this boombox. Not all of them are boombox. From the 90s, 2000s, or CD, cassette player, Panasonic GVC with those speakers on the side, portable ones, is going to get even a much better character of sound if you want, and is going to get the same AM reception of all signals that are medium to strong power on them. You don't need to get into fancy radios that sometimes the forum are talking about. Okay, thanks for watching, and yeah, it's only 5 times the original estimate duration of the video. I'm at 26 minutes right now. Yeah, and perhaps hopefully one of those videos that you just sit back and enjoy and are not really in a rush to get the information. Thanks for watching again.